Okay, once again, sorry about everything. Welcome back to the Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer show for Tuesday, May 19th. We're going to be going over today's news headlines. So once again, I apologize. We're on YouTube and also Sportscaster. So let me go ahead and put the links in for um, for YouTube and Sportscaster. I'm going to do that in a second. Links in for YouTube and Sportscaster. I'm going to do that in a second. So it's up on the screen. So we'll go over to Sportscaster now. So let me get that over to Sportscaster. Send this over. So everything's on the screen. So everything's on the screen at Sportscaster and um, um, YouTube. So let's go ahead and go over some headlines. Let's pull this up. Okay, let's get this up on the screen. And I'm going to go over some headlines. Let's go over to Clutch Point. I'm going to go over to the Clutch Point side. So everything's on your screen. You're seeing it now on Clutch Point. So we got Clutch Point articles up. So this is what they're talking about on Clutch Point. You can follow Clutch Point. Also, you got um, sportscaster guys that do Clutch Point articles off and on. So let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. Okay, LeBron James clarifies comments about perfect Michael Jordan teammate. That's what they're talking about here. So once again, this is from Bruno Marquis. That's MANRIQE. You can follow him at Clutch Points. That's clutchpoints.com. Also, Adam Albrecht is also on here as well. So let's see who's on the sportscaster side. If you're in here. We're looking at the screen right now. We have about 13 people. Thank you. Mary remembers 1988. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James comment. So if you want to comment about this, you can via the YouTube and also the Sportscaster apps. So you can do that. We're looking at the screens. I don't know why he's calling me right now. Don't call me while I'm doing this broadcast, Isaac. Call me. So he's gonna have to stop that. So switch this over. So this is what they're talking about here. This is from 10 minutes ago. This is from Matt Smith. You can reach him at Clutch Point. That's clutchpoints.com. I ain't answering that. I ain't answering that. So this is what they're talking about. This is Tom Brady holds throwing sessions with Bucks teammates. So that's what they're talking about in this article. So I'll be honest with you. I hope Tom Brady does work out here in Tampa Bay because look at it this way: he has 20 years in the business, but the truth of the matter is, I'm pretty sure that Tampa Bay will most likely finish 9-7 this year at the worst, or 11-5 if Tom Brady stays healthy the whole entire season. So once again, this is from Matt Smith. You can reach him at Clutch Points. That's clutchpoints.com. Let's see who's in here. I don't know what's going on while we're having these technical issues. So, so let's go ahead and go over some more headlines here on Clutch Point. Okay, let's go over to this one. 20 minutes ago came out. Okay, why Lob City Clippers failed to win a championship. This is back. This is from Matt Schultz. You can reach him at Clutch Point. That's clutchpoint.com. Talking about the 2009 LA Clippers. So that's what they're discussing here. So, so I'll be honest with you. I think the Clippers, if the Clippers would, if the season would have continued, I think the Clippers would have got into the playoffs, and most likely they would have got into the finals. To be honest with you, so that's what they're talking about. This is a very good piece by Matt Schultz. You can follow him on Clutch Point. That's clutchpoint.com. So let's see what else we'll discuss. Okay, we'll put this up on the screen. Okay, 5 things we didn't see in The Last Dance. What they're talking about. This is from let's see. I'm trying to pronounce his name. It's Paolo. If I'm saying his name right, I don't want to butcher his name. It's kind of tricky name, but that's what they're talking about. Game 6 of the 1992 finals. That's one of them. And Craig Hodges. That's one of them. He played alongside Michael Jordan from 1992 to 1988 to 92. That's one of them. Also, the huge Hollis foul incident. That's what they're talking about in this Clutch Point article. So that's also mailman doesn't deliver on Sundays. That's what they're talking about in this article. So once again, this is from Clutch Point. You can go to Clutch Point on the internet at clutchpoint.com. So let's go ahead and go over some more stuff here on Clutch Point. We pull it up. We'll go over some more articles here. Okay, let's go over to this one. Okay, this is from Clutch Point. This is from the same guy that did the Last Dance article. You can follow him on Twitter. It came out yesterday. Today. Excuse me, today. Let me turn that off. So, so this is from talking about Jaylen Brown's 78-year-old grandfather is acting like a trainer during quarantine. So that's let me see what he wants. Why he's aggravating me? What? Hey, this is Clutch Point articles.
Yeah, that's good. Yep, Clutch Points. I cover them. You know how if you press go live and you go on sports news?
Yeah.
You could stream about Clutch Points articles. So there you go.
Yeah, that's good. So this is what they're talking about. Jaylen Brown's 78-year-old grandfather acting like a trainer during quarantine.
Hey!
Yeah.
Why wasn't your mic working before?
Because I had to turn that mic on. I had to turn it on from StreamYard. Hey.
All right, let's see what's happening here. StreamYard.
So let's get this off the screen, and I'm going to go over some more stuff.
Tecmo Hole, there's no new articles, so.
Nah, that's everything is old articles. Okay, let's go ahead and go over this right now. You want to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers? You can.
Antonio Brown, that was a good team. With Antonio Brown.
The 5 greatest Pittsburgh Steelers teams in franchise history. Turn that off. That's annoying. I'm at to blank him out. So sorry about that, folks. We don't want to have all these feedbacks and stuff like that. I'm trying to hear through the. Okay, once again, this is what we're talking about here. Five greatest Pittsburgh Steelers teams in franchise history. Back in 1974, there was one of them. Also, number four, back in 2008 when they went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. And back in 2005, that's another team that was one of the greatest teams. So, also in 1975, number two, as well. They also suffered a week two loss to the Bills in 1975. Um, they went 12-2 that year. Also in 1978, that's 42 years ago. Also, so that's so they went. They averaged 12.2 points a game. Terry Bradshaw had a league touchdowns of 28, so he had 28 touchdowns, and back in so they did not. They went repeat in 1979. So that was the greatest teams of all time for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So once again, this was from Greg Paulo, Pat Beluto. If I'm saying his name right, I don't want to butcher these guys' name. Once again, that's from Clutch Point. Let's go ahead and go over some more headlines here on Sports Caster. And okay, this is from 1 hour ago. Let's go ahead and go over this information. Okay, this is from Matt Schultz. You can follow him at ClutchPoint at clutchpoint.com. They're talking about Doug Peterson's biggest message to Eagles players doing this off season was what they're talking about. So I'll be honest with you. Hopefully, Philadelphia will most likely be a contender, but I don't know about that because look, the NFC East. The NFC East is going to be challenging this year. And most likely you're going to have Dallas. You're most likely going to have Philadelphia. Most likely in that mix. And also Washington in that mix. Hopefully they do. But it's going to depend on the first 4 weeks of the season, what's going to happen. And like I keep saying, first 4 weeks is the key number. So once again, this is from Matt Schultz. You can reach him at Matt Smith. I don't want to say butcher his name wrong. Matt Smith. Okay, let's go over some more articles here on okay, this is from Matt Smith again. You can reach him at once again Clutch Point. DeAndre Baker pleads not guilty on all charges for aggravated armed robbery. So this is from Matt Smith. You can reach him at Clutch Point. So I think hopefully this young man will learn his lesson and not do these type of things because this is something it will be a detrimental to his career. So he was let's see, he had armed robbery charges and assault with a weapon. He also was released on $200,000 bond. So hopefully he does learn his lesson because that's something he shouldn't be doing as a player. He has to learn to because if like I said, the NFL is not a right; it's a privilege. So I'm not listening. So once again, this is from Matt Schultz. You can reach him at Clutch Point. Turn that off. I don't. Want to be bothered with him doing it. He keeps doing this every time. All right. All right. Let's see what else we'll discuss. I got a show to do. I ain't got time to be clowning around. So, okay, let's see what else we'll discuss. Okay, this is from an hour ago. Five NFL teams hurt most by missing minicamp. That's five teams that's most likely going to be impacted. Number five, the Miami Dolphins, definitely going to be impacted. The Cincinnati Bengals as well. Also, the Chicago Bears are going to have to um, they're going to have to pick up where they left off. Hopefully, they do. In a sense, because look, they need to do that because look, they need the mini camps and they also need the training camps to and also New England and Tampa Bay. So that's the five teams that did that's going to be impacted by the missing of mini camps. So once again, this is from Clutch Point. You can go to clutchpoint.com. Let me get this off the screen. Okay, let me break this down for you. So let's go over this one. Okay, breaking down Paul George and total NBA salary from his career. So this is from let's see, Ash it's Ash I ISH Martyr. You can reach him at Clutch Point. They talking about Paul George's salary breakdown. I'm looking at it right here. So if you're in here, let me switch this over. Sorry about that. Let me switch this over to Paul George's. So we're gonna pull this up. Sorry about that. We're gonna go into the extra screen. I didn't have it up on the screen, so this is what they're talking about with Paul George and stuff like that, with his salaries and stuff like that. This is what they're breaking down. He did the Pacers did sign George for $91.57 million rookie extension before 2013 and 14. Also, George averaged 17 points a game. Also, he was the first All-Star. So this is what they're breaking down right here. This is his breakdown right here. So I'll be honest with you. I hope Paul George is going to be breaking in that money. So once again, this is from our Ash his, if I'm saying his name right, Martyr. That's Matur. You can reach him at Clutch Point at clutchpoint.com. I'm going to just get this off the screen. Take that off. And we'll go look at some more stuff. We'll go ahead and look at some more articles. I'm going to pull this up on our stream. I ain't got time to play around. All right, breaking down Carmelo Anthony's total salary from his career. That's also from the same guy that did the this article on Paul George. So I have it on the screen for you. Okay, Carmelo Anthony made $248 million. That's $248 million in his career playing basketball with the with several different teams. This is per Sports Track. You can follow those guys' salaries and stuff like that by going to sportstrack.com or sportstrack.com. Also, Anthony made $3.2 million in his rookie year. He averaged 21 points a game, 6.1 rebounds. He also finished his rookie deal with $3.4 billion in year two, also $3.7 billion in year three, and also $4.6 million in year four back in 2007 and 8 season. Also, in the summer of 2006, Carmelo Anthony signed a 5-year, $80 million extension. He made $13 million, also $14 million in 2008 and 9, and also $15 million in 2009 and 10, and also $17 million in 2010 and 11. So these are your I mean, look, he's making a lot of money. I'll be honest with you. Once again, this is from Ash from Mortar. So once again, this is from Clutch Point. You can go to clutchpoint.com. Let's see who's in here. I don't know who's. He keeps blocking my. He keeps doing that. So how you doing, Fox? What's up? What's up today? Okay, once again, that's Fox87 on YouTube. So let's go ahead and go over some more stuff. I'm gonna pull up some more headlines here. Tap that in. Okay. Marquez Beechin reveals his goal for his rookie season with the Jets. So that's what they're talking about here on this article. Once again, this is from Skylar Collin. You can reach him at Clutch Point. That's clutchpoint.com. So I hope this young man does progress into a good football player and help the Jets out. So that's his mantra right there. So once again, this is from Skylar Collin. You can reach him at Clutch Point. That's clutchpoint.com. Get this out the screen, and we'll put some more articles. We'll go over some more Clutch Point articles as well, and then we'll switch up. Okay, let's go ahead and go over this. Let me get this in the screen. Give me 1 second to switch it. Okay, this is on the screen. Dennis Rodman versus Karl Malone. The shit show you never knew you needed to see. This is from Bruno Marquette. You can reach him at clutchpoint.com. That talks about the Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone show. So that's what they was talking about. The mailman he played. So that's one thing they did. Those two players, Malone and Rodman, they was battling on the court. So this was one of the videos we're going to show you. This is with Dennis Rodman in it. And he had it was Karl Malone, Diamond Dallas Page, and the Hulk Hogan. Let me go ahead and play this video for you. See if we can get it.
Back into the ropes again.
Break him.
Karl Malone with his first wrestling hold. He hooks on to Hollywood Hogan here. Hogan asked for the break of the rope, but Karl Malone pulled him out to the center of the ring again. And Hogan seeks refuge to the corner, to the ring. Ropes one more time. He's pulled away again. Malone will have none of it here.
Malone rules tonight.
How about that?
And Hollywood has a little stroll down memory lane.
Wow. Here's a class act. One you would expect. Page said, all right, now we're even. Let's go at it. Page, they're getting frustrated, guys.
An arm drag by Rodman.
How about that? And Hogan.
Okay, that's some clips from WWE with Diamond Dallas Page, Dennis Rodman, and Hulk Hogan. That was in the ring. So that was amazing right there. So once again, this is from Clutch Point. You can go to clutchpoint.com. So that's clutchpoint.com. See if who's in here. So let's go ahead and switch this over. I'm going to switch this back out. See what else we'll discuss. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to some different articles. I'm going to do that in a second. Let me get to ESPN. I'm going to pull over to ESPN now. Okay, this is from on ESPN.com. ESPN.com. So let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. Okay, Michael Jordan, the history of flight. That's what they're talking about. So this is from Wright Thompson. You can reach him at ESPN. That's ESPN.com. So they're showing his beginnings and stuff like that as a young player. He played 35, almost 30 plus years ago. That's the I-40 in North Carolina. Was named after Michael Jordan. So I'll be honest with you. Yeah, he had everything named after him. I mean, look, that's something that was so this is what they're talking about. This is a long article. So once again, this is from ESPN.com. You can follow them at ESPN. That's Wright Thompson. You can follow him at ESPN.com. So let's switch this over, see who's in here. I'm looking at the screens. Okay, let's see what else we'll discuss. Okay, Tom Brady holds yeah, we just talked about that on Clutch Points, so we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to discuss that. We're going to skip that article. We're going to go over to let's see, this one. Okay, wide receiver Michael Thomas and Devontae Parker getting over a pole. That's what they're talking about here. So let's play this video.
Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow come to town to Miami in Week 13. And could Tua be the Dolphins starter by that point? Could he have overtaken Ryan Fitzpatrick? Those are all questions we'll need to answer. But seeing the Bengal King versus the Aloha Dolphin.
So this is what they're talking about here. We're showing you on the articles right here. Devontae Parker answered an Instagram poll on Monday, setting off Michael Thomas. More words. between the wide receivers. On the Fox, the NFL on Fox Instagram account X, who is the toughest um, to make a catch while guarded by Steve Gilmore. That's what they're talking about. So I'll be honest with you, Michael Thomas. Look, Michael Thomas is the toughest wide receiver um, to bear. So I know, to be honest with you, all these social media polls they got, don't listen to them because it's all talk. That's all it is. I mean, look, it's production that matters on the field, not the polls that's on social media and stuff like that. So hopefully Michael Thomas will just ignore these polls and don't listen to them. Just do what he does, um, and not because I'm gonna be honest with you, those polls on there are not something. Look, they're just a lot of talk, a lot of talk with social media and stuff like that. So once again, this is from ESPN.com. You go to ESPN.com. Okay, Belmont State's to be held on June 20th at shorter distance. That's what they're going to be. So it's going to be trimmed down a little bit. So once again, so the Belmont Stakes will begin next month on June 20th. Because the Kentucky Derby was going to be on that weekend. It was going to be on May 2nd, but unfortunately, with the coronavirus outbreak, it's been moved up to, like I said, to the 20th. So this is from ESPN. You go to ESPN.com. Okay, let's see. Pull this up. Okay, James Conner. It would be hard to leave Pittsburgh in free agency. That's what they're saying. I'll be honest with you. That's what they're talking about. James Conner is scheduled to be a free agent after this season, saying it would be hard to play for another team. So hopefully he does play with the Steelers, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be a free agent. So that's just the norm of the business. So once again, this is from ESPN. You can go to ESPN.com. Let's see who's in here. I'm looking at the screens. Okay, let's see what else we'll discuss here. I think we covered mostly everything. Let's go ahead and put this in. Okay, how MLB is navigating the coronavirus pandemic to play ball. So that's what they're talking about here. So let's hear this video.
I got it in the January before I go to training.
These days, Cleveland Indians pitcher Carlos Carrasco is like many of us. He's spending more time in the house with his wife and 5 children, homeschooling, and even playing baseball in the kitchen, which carries its own risks, even during a global pandemic.
I still go to the grocery store. We have to do that, so because we need to eat. I need to feed my family.
What do you look like when you leave the house?
Right here.
Carrasco must adhere to extreme precautions as he might be at higher risk for severe illness from the coronavirus. That's because in June of 2019, following a blood test, doctors told him he has leukemia.
Pedro, I didn't understand anything. I said, what's going on here? And my wife, she understand pretty clear, and that she told me, hey, Carlos, you had cancer. And I just went like, for 10 seconds, just went like everything, the whole my life in 10 seconds.
Carrasco, whose nickname is Cookie, received an emotional reception at the 2019 All-Star Game in Cleveland.
Carrasco getting the love.
And returned to the mound for the Indians in a limited role in early September. He now says if baseball returns, he is all in.
How are you right now?
I'm good.
And rightfully so, because look, to be honest with you, Carlos Carrasco, look, he did fight leukemia. That's something right there. Look, and then you got all those treatments and stuff like that with the cancer treatments. So hopefully, Carlos Carrasco will come back bigger and better. So I'm pretty sure that look, when baseball starts, I think he's going to be ready. So I think it's going to be set for July 4th. Because once again, July 4th is a national holiday. It celebrates our country's birthday. So baseball is the appropriate time to have the schedule during July 4th weekend. So once again, this is from ESPN. You go to ESPN.com. That's ESPN.com. This is what they're calling for. Baseball calling for frequent, not daily testing. Quarantines only if who is only will be tested positive. Also, unless protective equipment and diagnostic testing becomes prevalent in coming weeks. So that's what they're talking about. And the next one is as MLB took shape to help officials on big league cities were not consulted, leaving out critical decision makers. So I'll be honest with you, I would want these tests to happen because look, anyone, and I mean everyone, could be tested positive with the coronavirus. So I'll be honest with you, I think it should be implemented in Major League Baseball before we start the season. So once again, this is from ESPN. You go to ESPN.com. That's ESPN.com. See, we're on the screen. So let's switch this over. Okay, let's go ahead and we did. Let's go ahead and put this up. Okay, ranking the we just did. Okay, ranking the yesterday they had the rankings out of the best and worst off seasons for the NFL teams. This time it's going to be Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles, and more. So let's go ahead and go through those rankings. Let's begin starting at number 24, the Carolina Panthers. Yes, signing Teddy Bridgewater. I think it's irrelevant that he is going to be a good quarterback. Hopefully he will be a productive quarterback for Carolina. So number 24, the Carolina Panthers. Also, the Jacksonville Jaguars looking for another quarterback after they traded Nick Foles to the Bears. So hopefully Jacksonville will have a better regular season as they go. Also, the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, the Atlanta Falcons as well. Going in the draft, picking they're picking pass rushers and stuff like that. So that is going to be they're ranked 22nd, the Atlanta Falcons. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions. So Super Bowl champions had a pretty good offseason, but they did unfortunately had an incident with with one of their players. Breland was arrested on May 1st, so that hopefully they can get that distraction out of the way. Now, the next one we're going to go over is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, hopefully Big Ben Roethlisberger will become better. What went wrong was outside of Worley, the Steelers didn't have much to replace Hargrove and stuff like that. Also, what they could have done differently, they can't pick. I can't pick too many holes. That's what they're talking about. Also, the upgrading behind Ben Roethlisberger, what is left to do. So they're most likely going to have to upgrade to another quarterback. Hopefully, they can get somebody in there that's going to be not garbage or nothing. So once again, this is from now the Minnesota Vikings. We'll go over the Minnesota Vikings. What went right? Their offseason moves were pretty good. Now, what went wrong? This is what they're talking about. Diggs is really good, even if you're optimistic about Jefferson. So I hope Jefferson does become the exception to the rule. So that's what they're talking about now. What they could have done differently, the Minnesota Vikings. Harris used $11.4 million salary cap to create and go after edge rushers. That's what they were doing. So they did that, went after edge rushers. Also, what's left to do, getting a backup quarterback. That's going to be the essentials right there. So once again, this is from ESPN. Now the Baltimore Ravens. So let's go over the Baltimore Ravens. One right, finally free at last of Joe Flacco. So they're now free at last. Now they got Lamar Jackson. So that's one of the things that went right for the Baltimore Ravens. And let's see what went wrong. Only the disappointing things. So that that had to deal with losing legendary guard Marshall Yanda to retirement. So that's another. That's what went wrong. What they could have done differently. They franchised Matt Judon as linebacker. He's to save $2 million. What's left to do? They need an edge defender, so absolutely they're going to need that. So once again, this is from ESPN. Let's go ahead and go over the Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles, last but not least, what went right? The Eagles addressed two obvious weaknesses during the regular season. The trade of Darius Slay needlessly for number one corner. So I think they did some things right. The Philadelphia Eagles. Now, what went wrong? Solving the problem at cornerback. That's the problems that's going to have to be solved big time at cornerback. So they got a slew of cornerbacks, but hopefully they can solidify their situations. Now, what went differently? What could have done? They could have done differently. To get a cheap cornerback. That's what they're talking about in this article. Also, what's left to do is offensive line depth. So they most likely going to have to get that offensive line depth. So tomorrow they'll have 16 through 9 on the list. So once again, this is from ESPN.com. You go to ESPN.com. All right, let's switch this over. See what else we're going to talk about here. So please expect a 5-second delay on if you're on YouTube and Sportscaster. We are on. Okay, let's see what else we could talk about here. I think we covered most of everything on let's go over to Twitter. Let's go over to the Twitter side. Let's see what's happening on the Twitter side. Okay, Twitter side is up on the screen. We're waiting for the Twitter side to come up. So we're this is from Dirty D Zim. You can reach him at Dirty D Media. That's Dirty D Media talking about the Dallas Mavericks in that video. Also, D1 Exposure. We have a big FBS school looking to evaluate other guys ASAP. 2020 would be wide receiver, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, all 2021 prospects must sign up. And that's what they're talking about. So this is from D1 Exposures. You can follow them at D1 Exposure. That's Exposure D1. Okay, the winner of the AFC East will be, we don't know. It most likely be Miami, most likely be Buffalo. Hopefully, it'll be a little of both. So that's what they're talking about. This is from PFF, Pro Football Focus. Also, this is what they're talking about. This is the my plans. This is what they're talking about. A couple of years ago, LSU played Texas A&M. It was back at I think it was back in 2018. It was the game was had 7 overtimes. That's something right there I was not happy about. LSU should have never, and I mean never, went to 7 overtimes. They should have never taken that long to win the game. But they did get their revenge on Texas A&M the following the next year in 2019. So I look at it this way. I hope that if we go up to Texas A&M this year, that we don't have another repeat of what happened back in 2018 when they went to 7 overtimes. So once again, this is from College Football Home. You can follow College Football Home at CFB Home. That's CFB Home. Okay, this is what they're talking about. Carson Wentz in the red zones. This is from Victor Williams. You can follow him at the Philly Pod. That's the Philly Pod. He's outlining what he did in the red zone. On 83 plays, he had 301 yards, 30 first downs, 21 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. Quarterback rating was absolutely off the wazoos, 107.7. So that was a pretty good red zone efficiency right there for Carson Wentz for the Philadelphia Eagles. So this is from Victor Williams. You can reach him at the Philly Pod. That's the Philly Pod on our Twitter. Okay, this is what this is. Remember CeeDee Lamb, entire Texas defense in a spin cycle. So this is him right here making scoring a touchdown against the Texas defense. Nice little pass play right there. Okay, this is my plans right here. That's what Bleacher Report is my plans. Now, Ray Roth put out something on Twitter. Twitter is so toxic. Is one thing to disagree. I tweet and trauma about it. So this is from Ray Roth. You can follow Ray Roth at DPN Ray. That's DPN Ray. He also is on Sportscaster as well. So Ray Roth. Also, blessing Twitter feeds with some portraits of media day shoot. This is on the New Orleans Pelicans right here. Media day shots. This is a picture of them. A picture of Zion Williamson. Um, um, and Alonzo Ball and many more. So, okay, this is from LeBron James. LeBron James' last 40 games in 2012, he averaged 27.5 points, 7.9 rebounds, 7.6 assists, 58% shooting, and also a three-point shooter. So this is the last 40 games from 2012 through 13. Once again, this is from okay, what else we'll talk about? Okay. Who will be the best defensive lineman in college football in 2020? This is from PFF College Football. You can follow them at PFF College. That's PFF College. Okay, let's go ahead and put this up on. This is LSU Football Report. I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the screen. I'm going to share the screen again. And I'm going to put the LSU Football Report article up on the screen. Okay, LSU Football Report. This is asking LSU football's 5 greatest seasons in program history. That's what they're discussing. Okay, let's go ahead and display them. Okay, this is from Fansided. You can follow them at fansided.com. 5 best seasons in program history for LSU football. So I'm looking at it right here. Number 5 will be the 2011 season. I say 13-1 season. They was SEC runner-ups back then, so they was number 2 in the coaches poll. So that was one of the seasons right there. Number 5, the 2011 13-1 season. Number 4 coming up. Let's go over to back in 2007. They went 12-2. They went 7-0, but they had a loss to Kentucky that year. So that's when Nick Saban still was coaching. No, Les Miles, excuse me. Les Miles was coaching. So they went 12-2 that year, and also number 1 in the coaches AP poll. Also, let's go ahead and give you some more information. Okay, the 2003 season. 2003, they went 13-1. They went to the national championship and won the national championship, but they did finish number 2 in the AP poll. So let's go to the number 2. The 11-0 LSU Tigers back in 1958. They won the national championship and also the SEC championship back in 1958, and also was the number 1 ranked team in history. That's number 2. Now your number 1 team this year, absolutely this year. 2019 LSU won the national championship last year, so this is one of the this is the top 5 LSU best seasons ever. So once again, this is from Fansided. Also, LSU Football Report put it out. You can follow them at LSU Football Report, and also you can follow Fanside at fansided.com. So let's go ahead and go over some more articles before we turn off. Let's see how many minutes we've been on, about half hour, so we're good now. Let's get back onto the Twitters. Okay, I'm going to go over some more stuff here on Twitter. Okay, St. Louis Cardinals. This is what they're talking about. I relived the history. It'll be on at 7 p.m. tonight. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central here in the when the St. Louis Cardinals won their championships. Okay, I just talked about that on. Okay, this is from um, LGR basketball. That's LGR basketball. This is from this is one of their this is the trick shot challenges. That's the trick shot challenges. Coach Gonzalez is in this that's a nice little shot right there. So once again, this is from LGR basketball. You can follow them at LGR basketball. Also, this is what they're talking about in 247 Sports. Michael Jordan's. Let me put that up on the screen. Let me stop sharing the other one and put the other ones in. I'll put that up on the screen for you. 1 second. Let me get that in. Get that article in. I'll put it in. 1 second. Let me get the article put up. Okay, Michael Jordan's poison pizza story, not true. That's what they're saying. This is from Brad Crawford. You can follow him at 247 Sports. That's 247 Sports. And that's what they're talking about in this article. This is so you can follow them at 247 Sports. That's 247 Sports. Okay, let's see what else we'll discuss. Okay, let me go ahead and put this in. Okay, stats show Joe Burrow dominance against ranked teams. Absolutely. He had an absolute good season for LSU. He also won the Heisman. So let's go ahead and show this article for you. Okay, this is from LSU's page. This is called Death Valley Voice. Death Valley Voice. You can follow them on FanSided at Death Valley Voice. I mean, these wild stats show Joe Burrow against ranked teams. Okay, this is what they're talking about. Okay, Tigers play 7 of their 15 games against 2000 in 2019 against ranked opponents. In those 7 games, Joe Burrow had 2,783 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So that's a formality right there. If you ask me, I think it was wild stats right there. I think it was just absolutely out of the wazoos, to be honest with you. So, also, this is what he talked. He passed for nearly 500 yards. That was 493 to be exact in the semifinal playoffs against Oklahoma. He also threw against the he threw for 361 yards per game. I'm gonna tell you, look, the Bengals are getting a very productive quarterback in Joe Burrow. Look, the Bengals look. If the Bengals would have never selected Joe Burrow, look, they would have selected somebody else. They knew his caliber can fit their system. So once again, this is from Zach Regan. You can follow him at FanSided. That's fansided.com. Also, it's Death Valley Voice. That's associated with FanSided. So let's get look at some more articles. I'm gonna pull these up. See what we need to pull up here. Okay, let's see what else we'll talk about here. Okay, this is from Power Sports Power Hour with Sam Fetterman. He puts out um, rare athletes born in each state. He has out right now. He has Bo Jackson, Kurt Schilling, Danny White, also Scottie Pippen in Arkansas, California, Austin Matthews, Philip Lindsay, George Springer from Connecticut, also Elila, Emma Dome, if I'm saying her name right. Also Chris Sales from Florida and Wendell Carter from Georgia. And also he has another list. We're going over the lists right now. So you'll see them on your screen. Once again, please give your subscription to SS Network. That's SS Network 2016. You can follow him as well. So this is what we're talking about as well. PFF for incompletions. Colton Davis was number one with 12. Jamel Dean with 10. Jadavius White with 10. So once again, this is from PFF. You can go to PFF on the internet at PFF. Okay, let's go over to this. This is in 20 minutes. The greatest quarterbacks. This is from SBR Sports Picks. You can follow them at SBR Sports Picks. That's going to be a good show. Hopefully, you can tune in. Okay, Power. Once again, Power Sports Power Hour podcast puts out more stuff. This is not. He has athletes. Every number 1 through 0 through 99. So that's what he's talking about. So once again, please follow Sam Fetterman as well. Also, a lot of debate about King James in the NFL. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you, in the near future. I think it's just talk on social media time and time again. Okay, let's go over some PFF College. The highest grade for Big Ten defensive tackles in 2019. All three from Ohio State got into the top 3. Jason Cornell, Robert Landis from Ohio State, and Devon Hampton from Ohio State. So once again, this is from PFF College. You go to PFF College. Also, Tom Brady was showing you his workouts. That's on My Sports Updates. That's with the Buccaneers. Okay, let's go ahead and put this up. Not so crazy predictions. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen. Give me a few seconds to put up these articles. I got to share them. Okay, let's go ahead and put this in. Okay, 3 not so crazy predictions for LSU football in 2020. That's what they're talking about here. This is from LSU Football Report. I'm going to put it in. Okay, this is from Death Valley Voice. You can follow them at Death Valley Voice on Fansided. This is from Zach Regan. He's the editor. He's talking about LSU football. 3 crazy, not so crazy predictions. That's going to be inserted into the 2019 LSU 2020 LSU football season. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think LSU will pick up where they left off from last year. That's just my opinion. So I know if you disagree with me, you can comment through the Sportscaster and also YouTube side. We're looking at the screens right now. Let's see what's going on the screens. We don't have nobody on YouTube. So, and let's get back to what we was talking about here. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this in. Miles Brennan throwing for over 4,000 yards. I'm pretty sure he will throw for over 4,000 yards. Hopefully he gets closer. Because I'm going to tell you, Miles Brennan is going to be the quarterback for LSU this year. He's definitely going to be the starter. Because, look, they're going to have some people coming in battling for the position. But the truth of the matter is, I think Miles Brennan should be the starter this year for LSU. No quarterback pass for over 3,900 yards, and that's true. This is what we're going to be talking about. Jamar Chase, another Heisman candidate. I'm pretty sure, most likely, he will be in that conversation. Hopefully, he will. Jamar Chase, because in his career, in 2014, he had 124 catches for 1,727 yards and 16 touchdowns. Last season, he had 84 catches for 1,780 and 20 touchdowns. So that's a complete difference from 2014 to this last season. So I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, he's gonna have to make some. He's gonna have to be productive in this campaign, because they're looking for somebody. If he does make some catches in the first couple of weeks of the season and he racks up the yards, I'm gonna tell you, he will be that Heisman candidate. So it's coming from an LSU fan, and also a guy that does cover this team on a daily basis here on Sportscaster. So once again, this is from Fansided. You can go to Fansided. This is another one. Okay, huge award for LSU football. Okay. LSU football is to beat one of the nation's is the team to beat in one of the nation's top 20 running backs. So hopefully we can get that running back, but I don't know. It's up in the air. Okay, LSU may be focusing on their 2021 class. It doesn't mean they're now in the 2022 class, and that's another story. Jaden Blue, he's a 5'9", 209 from Houston, Texas. Hopefully they can pick him up. So that's one of the things that LSU needs to get is depth at running back. Hopefully they will get it. Okay. Let's see. This is another what we're talking about here. Okay, this is a lot of coaches rankings and stuff like that. I think Adja Orgeron should be in that conversation. Let's go over to number 14. Yep. Sam Pittman from Arkansas. Number 12, number 13, Elijah Drunkwitz from Missouri. Number 12, Derek Mason. Number 11, Will Muschamp from South Carolina. Number 10, Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss. Mark Stoops at Kentucky, so Mark Stoops. Jeremy Pratt from Tennessee is number 8. Number 7 is Mike Leach from Mississippi State, the Pirate Man. Now Jimbo Fisher from Texas A&M. Dan Mullen from Florida. Gus Malzahn from Auburn. That's one of the rankings right there. Kirby Smart, number 3 in this coaches ranking. And number 2 is Ed Orgeron from LSU. He should be number 1. I think he should. And number 1 is Nick Saban. Unfortunately, yeah, it's Nick Saban. So once again, this is from Death Valley Voice. You can follow them at Death Valley Voice. That's Death Valley Voice. That's with Fansided. that covers LSU sports. So let's go ahead and switch this out. I think we covered everything. Let me go ahead and shut down. Okay, welcome. Once again, welcome. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Show. We will be back later with Sports Time New Orleans Sports Podcast. We will go into the LSU South Carolina basketball game from last year. No, this year, excuse me. This year, the last game before the SEC tournament. We will replay that game back here on StreamYard and Sportscaster. That will be for Sportscaster viewers only, not for YouTube. We cannot play nothing on YouTube. We will get banned. So once again, thanks for joining us. Like, share, and follow Sports Talk with Kerry Wehmeyer Show. You can follow me on Twitter at Talk Kerry. Also, you can email me anytime at kerry.wehmeyer@yahoo.com. Also, you can follow me on Sportscaster at sportscaster.com/KLW. Also, you can follow me on Tumblr at tumblr.com/blog/KLW7825. And I'm going to put another one in. I'm going to put in Instagram, so you'll be able to follow me there. Okay, 1 second. Oh, hold on. I got it right here. Okay, also follow me on Instagram at sports underscore talk 2505. That's sports underscore talk 2505. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back later with another edition of Sports Talk with Sports Time New Orleans podcast. So here on Sportscaster.